best one I saw about it was like, I think IGN's review or somebody's review was like, Black Adam isn't a game changer for the DCU, but it will make you believe that even with an absolute mega level star, this extended universe is doomed.
Oh no!
It's like, fuck. And it was just basically like, The Rock is the most charming human being on the planet, and this movie he has been working on for fucking years, and it still doesn't work. Please stop making DC movies.
Episode 407 of the TV Dudes, recorded October 19th, 2022. You're the experts. This week, we've got some experts showing off their skills. There are the high school basketball coaches and their proteges in Season 2 of Big Shot on Disney+. There are the parents of famous demon hunters Dean and Sam and the Winchesters on the CW. And there's the crew of paramilitary mercenaries on Professionals, also on CW. Plus, of course, She-Hulk shows us how it's done with a pretty perfect finale, and Star Trek Lower Decks is back in the holodeck in our double desserts. But before we get to all that, I'm Randy.
I'm Les.
And I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes. The She-Hulk finale is kind of what I really want to talk about, but there'll be some interesting stuff to get to before this. So,
yes.
Let's
gotta eat your peas, Randy.
But before we get to the TV diary, y'all, let's talk about Henshin.
Oh yeah, Henshin is going great. We are at this moment, I think at a little midway past 13,000, 13,500 or so, and we as of the time that this is going to drop, it'll be Friday of our matching campaign week, where we had an anonymous backer pledge $10,000 if we could hit 100 new backers, demonstrate some reach, basically.
Yeah.
And we are over halfway there. I think we lack 47 more people. This is Wednesday that we're recording this. So check on us Friday, henshin.com, and see where we're at, and see if we hit it. And if so, that's going to put us a long way towards the goal. But it's going really well.
This is one of those things that, like, now is the time to back. Anytime you back, you're gonna help out. But backing now could make the difference between like 10K and not 10K. Let's say it's a really important thing for people to hit it right
Even
now.
just donating $5 to $10 now helps us get to that 10K. And if we get that 10K by Friday, we will be above 50%.
Yeah, that's going to put us a long way
of our funding goal.
Even if you're thinking like, I'm going to wait till, my next paycheck or till money or whatever and put in, because you want a bigger reward or a cooler reward. You can always adjust your reward up. Like you could throw in $10 this week to help us hit this 10K, and then, get paid next week and up it to 25 and get the episodes.
Yep, for sure. And folks should do that. It's a good way to help out. I know a lot of y'all are giving us money from Patreon for TV Dudes, and it would be awesome of you to help out this project. Just a little bit would be great.
Yeah. Even just sharing it is incredibly difficult to get Facebook to show your friends anything with a link in it, and it's been aggravating.
Yes.
So as many people as can aggressively share henshin.com or anything from our Facebook page for Henshin, the series, that would be fantastic.
All right, let's jump over to our TV diaries.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
And I will start. This week I did some finishing up of some stuff. So I finished up She-Hulk, obviously. I finished all of Big Shot since Disney dropped all of it, which was a big surprise. Caught up on Rings of Power season, the last couple episodes, which I really liked. Caught up on...
Who's Sauron?
He's who you think he is.
Oh, okay.
It was a good... I liked the payoff, but it was not like oh wow, it's that guy. No, it's like, oh, it's that guy. But it was good. I liked it. And then I watched the latest episodes of Andor, which God damn it, I really liked. This episode was the heist element. It was the one where they actually pull off the job, and I'm a sucker for that kind of thing.
That's just cheating for you. Like
it is. It's not fair.
You've never met a heist episode you don't like.
And it was great. It was really good. Like, it was a heist gone wrong, which I'm also a fan of, and it was really good. So They got me back on board. I'll probably dislike it again next episode. Watch the latest Atlanta, which Atlanta this final season is going out so strong. It's so good. It's so weird. Watch the third episode of Ghost, which I really am enjoying, and I should go back and check out the British version at some point because I really like the American version. Caught up on Lower Decks. Caught 2 more episodes of So Help Me Todd, which I really like that show on CBS.
Same. I've been watching it as well. I've kept up with it as well.
Like it is in no way Veronica Mars or Fletch or even, Rockford Files, but it has bits and pieces of that in there.
It's not even really Burn Notice. Let's be honest here.
No, it's not even quite Burn Notice. It is every week. Marcia Gay Harden and Skylar Astin elevate that show. I mean, all the actors they are making that better.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would say if you want a show that hits that Stumptown Burn Notice you rebel,
that was the other one. Yeah,
this is kind of in there.
Yeah,
and honestly, Stumptown was a little frustrating for me because it was almost great. And it's more that it's more for the lack of other stuff in this genre. I want a whole fucking TV channel of these things.
Yeah.
I don't know why every station doesn't have one, but I also want my Fletch movies. So
this is not even within striking distance of great. It's just really solid.
No, it's just fun.
In that way, it's better than Stumptown because I'm not expecting anything more of it. I'm just like, oh, that was better. That was more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Having watched a shitload of Psych, it's really fun.
Yeah. It pairs nicely with Quantum Leap, which is in a similar vein for me. Except Quantum Leap, I think, is actually getting better and better as it goes along. The reveal about magic, which we talked a little bit about last week, TV Diaries, I thought was really good. What's going on? They didn't drag the whole thing with Ben out too long as far as his memories coming back, and I'm really glad about that. I haven't seen the payoff of it yet because I'm not up on this week's episode, but I've been really.
I'm one behind.
I've been really liking Quantum Leap. Also enjoying in a very different way Avenue 5, which is just dark as fuck and really funny. Like this week's episode, are you guys keeping up with it?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Do you mind a minor spoiler?
I don't mind a spoiler, no.
Okay. So they're accidentally on course for the sun, and they're going to pass right by it, and they discover a cooling tank that can hold. They discover a corridor that's cooler, like 12 degrees cooler than the rest of the ship, and they're like, "Oh, well, we can get 300 people in there," and of course, chaos ensues.
Oh,
and it's a delightful thing, and they're like, it's the whole thing of like, we may be leaving the rest of the passengers to die, and then spoiler, they don't, and they have to face that.
Man, they never do.
It's so good. It's so funny and so dark.
They never kill the only thing that ever happens is the passengers kill themselves.
Yes, yeah. I watched the latest episode of Reboot, which I'm really enjoying. That's another show I did not have any expectations for. And then last 2 episodes of last week with John Oliver, which was the crime reporting one, and then the transgender youth one, both of which made me incredibly angry at the world, but also had some nice uplifting stuff at the end. So I'll give.
It was a pretty baller, like 12-year-old girl that talked to like Congress.
She's a
in it.
Fucking badass.
Was like, I'm kind of sick of here telling grown-ups to do the right thing, but whatever.
Yeah, just like just all the teens, all those teenagers basically just running up on these guys, being like, "What is wrong with you? This is not what we should be doing. This is your job." I caught a couple more episodes of Justly Unlimited, the famous episode where Wonder Woman gets turned into a pig by Cersei. It was one of them. That was super fun.
Damn, where Batman has to save her by singing at the end of it.
Yes.
You can get that whole song sung by Kevin Conroy online, actually.
Oh, that's delightful.
If you want. It's really great.
Well, the episode after that one is the one with Power Girls or Supergirl's clone Galatea.
Oh yeah.
And the Question and Green Arrow, and there's hit after hit in that first season.
The Question in that series is great, of like the people that Batman thinks the Question is a fucking weirdo.
Yes. Well, this one has the bit where this is where they introduced him, and he is singing a pop song while he throws a trash can through a window to break into an office, and it's just delightful.
Oh yeah, and then he finds 33 flavors or whatever for Baskin Robbins, or 32.
Yes.
Like, aha! Like he's this conspiracy theorist.
Flavors. Yeah.
Like there's stuff that's right and true that he's looking into, but it's also connected in a stringboard with like boy bands and like.
Yeah.
Okay, Quesh, I think some of this is wrong.
There's a great bit in there. Supergirl and Green Arrow are trying to figure out what's going on, and Green Arrow's like, right after Question said something insane, he's like, "Let's split up. She and I are gonna go this way. You do whatever.
You do whatever it is that you do, my man."
I caught a few movies. I watched The Descent for the first time ever, the 2005 Neil Marshall.
Oh, you never seen The Descent before?
Claustrophobic monsters thing.
That movie's great.
Never seen it before. It's really good, but also the people I was watching with we're like, no, man, they deserve this. Like, why would you go in this fucking cave?
I loved your take on that. Of like,
damn,
it's a home invasion.
It's a home invasion.
That is an interesting way to look at it. I suppose you're the guy that roots for the sharks. I'm really sad the sharks didn't get away in Deep Blue Sea.
I mean, fuck around and find out.
It's a fucking Prison Break movie with a dark ending.
They weren't supposed to go down there. All those things were just eating what was available on the surface.
It almost puts it in the genre of folk horror.
I need to ask you something I ask everyone that watches that movie, which is, do you think that there was originally a script of that where the main female protagonist, the main female antagonist of which were written to be lovers?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Because there's like they rated in the beginning to where like, oh, it was cheated on the husband, but that feels so weirdly tacked on because it feels like, oh, I'm not leaving here without her. I can't do that to her again. Like, I don't know. Whenever I read that movie, I'm like, why does this feel coded to where they're having a much more deeper relationship than the movie ever pays off?
I mean, I will say this: when they at the very beginning, but before the husband and the daughter get quacked by random beams, which that was harsh and sudden.
Wow. Yeah. That reverb goes right through that dude's face.
Before that happens, when there's a look that passes between the other two women, and that was all I needed to be like, oh, she's sleeping with the husband. Like they totally set that up in a really clever, like believable way, and with just a look. I was like, that's really good economy of storytelling. And I thought there was a lot of that in that movie. There's a lot of good economy of storytelling stuff. Their character development was really strong, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I don't know if I liked it better than Dog Soldiers. That's just Dog Soldiers is great.
Also, I do like that our female antagonist is kind of like, oh, well, she killed someone and didn't tell anybody, but like, yeah, but that bitch snuck up on her after a fucking monster attack.
Yep. Also, yes, she was the antagonist, but also she was a fucking badass. Like, I loved that character.
I call her the antagonist because there's not really anything other to say in the movie, just because she slept with that chick's husband. So I guess we're supposed to hate her and be okay with her being condemned to death in a very horrible way.
They're all home invaders, so they all deserve what they got.
Well, yeah, I know your position on it.
Don't bring into cave monsters' homes. Fuck around and find out. That's all I'm saying. Just don't go in caves that haven't been explored. I think it's a bad idea in general. But I may be a weirdo in that way. Anyway, I also watched what was going to be our home theater for the week, Rosalind, which is about Romeo's ex-girlfriend before he meets Juliet. And it's Caitlin Dever starring. And it's got like Bradley Whitford as her dad. And like there's a good cast in this. And the trailer was kind of funny. And I hated this fucking movie. It like all the good jokes are in the trailer. The movie was super disappointing. I'm angry at it for being a waste of a really good idea.
I get that. Like Nick and I talk about this a lot, that like mediocre movies don't piss me off.
No.
Like
it happens. It happens.
Or just like, failing at a bad. It's when you have a really great idea and just piss it away.
Yes.
Or when you bait and switch me, or like, like it takes a particular combo of things to like come out of it like the owners are sort of like, fuck you forever.
This should have been like The Great. It should have been dark and funny, and instead it's like it's light and it doesn't have that meanness. It should have been what's the one we watched a couple weeks ago about Do Revenge. It was Do Revenge. It was like that. It should have had that to it, and instead it's so meek. It's so unwilling to commit to the bit. And Caitlin Dever, we've seen from Justified, she is totally capable of doing it. But they don't want to make her too mean, and so instead it's this weird.
What do you mean they don't want to make her too? That's her whole thing on Justified.
I know.
She is a mean girl.
Yeah.
And not not mean girl, but like she is a very vindictive kind of dick in Justified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great in it. And this was just a waste of her and everybody else.
One of my favorite characters.
And then I watched Pitch Perfect 2 because I watched Pitch Perfect last week, leading into Pitch Perfect 3 before you get to the Bumper's return and the weird as shit Paramount Plus Bumper in Berlin series they're going to be doing.
I'm waiting for the Chloe and Becca, is that her name? Becca and Chloe relationship show or whatever. Because they still have
right?
they tease that in every movie of like that Brittany Snow's character is weirdly intensely like almost single white female into Anna Kendrick.
Honestly, if they were going to do spin-offs from that movie, you could definitely give me a Fat Amy show. Rebel Wilson has never had a good show. They gave her a really terrible sitcom. You could give me, but Chloe's busy doing porn now in slasher movies, so she can't come back. Anyway, that was my TV diaries. Nick, what you got?
Oh, I mean, me and Les watched a couple things before our main franchise that was the inspiration for our Patreon picks, like really grabbed our attention. We watched the Wrong Turn remake, whatever it was.
Huh.
The one that was made in what was it, 2020 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 2020. I believe it's the same writer as the original one.
Speaking of a movie that
tracks that
takes a great premise and pisses it away, this movie was great for the first like half of it, and then goes all in on this
so up its own ass.
It goes all in on this twist of like, oh, but it was a misunderstanding because you just thought we were inbred hillbillies that raped people, when really we were that, but we didn't do it yet. So you're wrong. Like, wait a minute,
Nick and I
what?
were just like, I think the movie thinks that they're selling this twist, and they are not.
They're not selling this morality of like, oh, they killed one of the guys because like,
oh my god,
how dare you kill one of us only because we change you up and then
there's a whole
like
redneck hillbilly trial, and they explain that like, oh, we were attacking you. It's a whole movie about wandering off the Appalachian Trail and running into hillbilly traps.
Hurt, so we were gonna take you back off to the trail, and I'm like, well, you did it on tied me up in a stake and put the hood over my head. You were kidnapping me. That was not like, it's not what you said it was.
The whole misunderstanding doesn't work.
And then they are the bad guys by the third act anyway. So it's like, wait, what's the point then? What?
Yeah. Incredibly frustrating movie.
Then we watched, what did we watch? We watched, Ghoulies. We watched, I'll let Les, you know what? Since I'm going first, I'm going to let Les explain Ghoulies on his turn. How's about that?
Ghoulies.
Eat it. I watched the first episode of The Owl House season 3. Very good. Wow. Fantastic. Really great return to form on that series. I'm really glad it's back so that they can finish it up. Kind of like they do a great little run through of like their summer montage of what's been going on with them like in the summer months before as they've been out in the human world. And it has a great little like Luce makes a little thing for her mom on the video to tell her she has a girlfriend now and that she's bi, and it says like from Lumity Productions, the hashtag name between the Luce and Amity, and it's like, hi, I'm bi, and it's got the flag and everything. And then from then on, the mom is wearing a pride pin like throughout the entire episode. Like the episode takes course over months, so apparently that's just her thing. She has books on like so your kid is bi and all that sort of thing. Very inclusive, very pretty cool, and of course just insanely funny. I love that show. Intensely weird. And what else did we watch? I watched Grizzly with the riff tracks on, but really Grizzly is just kind of a fun enough Jaws knockoff with a bear to be fun enough on its own. And then I watched some last week tonight. I actually watched Rosalind on Hulu.
And you thought it was great, and I'm crazy, right?
No. I watched Rosalind, not Rosalind.
Oh,
Randy.
You watched what?
Rosalind is a fairy tale, a gay fairy tale, like children's story on Hulu. That's a short. That's like 6 minutes long.
Wait, did you think that was the thing, or did you just luck into it?
No, but Hulu thought it was. because I started watching 10 minutes of Roslyn, like you said, and then I realized we'd have to watch it for Patreon today. I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna finish this, and so I put Hulu off was on the background, right, and then suddenly it does that thing of like suggesting a thing of like upcoming, and it was too fast for me to like get it, like I clicked it like I didn't mean to, and I was like, what is this? And it's a fairy tale thing where a girl is trying to get to her girlfriend, and she keeps running her on into fairy tale stories, and they keep trying to like go through these weird things of like, oh, well, a witch tried to give me an apple, and I thought like, well, that's pretty suspicious, but I'm just gonna take this apple and not eat it. Then a wolf came down to like huff and puff, but I was like, when he came to huff, I threw the poison apple in his mouth, and then he died before he puffed, or he fell asleep. It's a kid's thing, but he definitely died because that was a poison apple. And then the fairy godmother comes down and he's like, I'm going to turn you into a princess and get you a prince. And she's like, bitch, stop. Like, I'm just trying to get to my girlfriend down this road. Yeah, I don't need any of that shit. All right. Like, finally gets down there to get with her girlfriend. Like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe the path I took down to get it was just all heteronormative bullshit I had to dodge around, like with fucking weird subtext. But I don't know, it was a cute little 6-minute thing for kids that I thought was kind of neat. What else did we watch? Did we watch anything else besides the Chucky movies, Les?
I think that's everything else we watched was just a steady stream of Child's Play.
All right, well, yeah, then me and Les went on a Child's Play burn. I don't know what. We decided we were going to either watch that or the second Demonic Toys movie, and God, I'm glad we went with Child's Play 2.
Oh, man. It is
these movies
possibly the best
rule.
of all the horror franchises. They all rule, except for Curse.
Curse isn't that great. But I'll tell you what, the Puppet Master, like, it probably helps that we watched Puppet Master, like a lot of Puppet Master films before this. It was like, now this is how you do a killer doll movie. God damn.
Yeah, seriously. Like, this is how to make this work. If anything, Curse started reminding us of Puppet Master movies, and we were like, wait, something's wrong.
Oh, that's not good.
Is one of these people psychic?
Child's Play 2 and 3 are great sequels to the slasher franchise. But once it switches over to the Chucky namesake, bride and seed of Chucky, this franchise gets unbelievably insane. Also, very horny. Also, pretty gay.
Like how gay, Nick? Like is John Waters in it?
John Waters is in it. It is, yeah.
That is
pretty gay.
That is suddenly very incredibly gay. I mean that in the best possible way. This movie franchise is bananas queer. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, you got to meet their kid, Glenn/Glenda.
It is, yeah. I mean, it is Nightmare on Elm Street 2 gay. I love it.
Hey Randy, do you want to see two anthropomorphic murder dolls with their jaws on the floor looking at their anatomically incorrect son/daughter because they don't have any genitals, which is different to them because they, as murder dolls that are ensouled with people, actually do have genitals.
Yes, because they had sex and birthed that child.
Nick, we're not doing Stranger Than Fanfiction anymore.
Because I'm saying, because this movie has that. Name another movie that has that, and I will eat my own hat. Come on, I'll wait.
I think I don't want to see that, and that's why I will not be on the Patreon this week.
Yes, so on the Patreon this week we will discuss the Child's Play franchise at large.
Do you want to see the murder doll played by Jennifer Tilly try to ensoul the actress Jennifer Tilly in the own storyline?
That I actually do want to see, yes.
I love that eventually they just forget, like, who's who. Like, are you Tiffany or Jennifer Tilly? Like, who can tell at this point?
Oh, yeah. In Cult of Chucky, they straight up go like, who is this? It's Tiffany or Jennifer. Honestly, I don't remember at this point. Who can say? You can. Yeah. But, yeah, a student for the Patreon and our in-depth look at the Chucky franchise and how amazing it is and better it is than any other slasher franchise. I'm talking Jason can suck a dick.
Yes.
Freddy, go fuck yourself. Mike Myers, don't even, come on, get out of here with that.
Yeah.
I'm a Chucky
No.
man.
We will Abed style, like, who's the boss? We will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Child's Play franchise is the best.
Seed of Chucky gets so crazy, it takes me until the end of the movie to really actually grasp with the fact that, oh, right, why does their kid have a British accent?
All right, is that your TV diary? You're doing a whole Patreon on Child's Play.
No, but also he knows Japanese because they're all made in Japan. Okay, now I'm done.
Jesus Christ, Kyle, stop talking about F1.
So I watched all of that shit, plus some 30 Rock and Parks and Rec. Peacock is the only station that is brilliant enough to do this, which we've yelled about every year. They have actually put aside a bunch of their shows, just the Halloween episodes, all gathered together.
Oh,
so you can go through Parks and Rec or Cheers or Brooklyn, which is just the heists, or Psych or Murder, She Wrote, or The Middle, or Super Show or Modern Family. Like, it's great. It's just the Halloween episodes.
That's awesome. Is it a playlist? Can you play one and like auto plays the next one? Because
unfortunately, they still have not.
Damn it! Because the Simpsons.
No, of course not.
The
Because
Treehouse
technology, air quote, works.
That's not technology. You can't tell me the tech isn't there to do it. They're just too lazy to do it.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's just
Yeah.
every time you see a sci-fi movie where things work, people had to make it work, and they just won't.
It's so
Which
frustrating.
brings me to watching John Oliver, which I also watched. I watched the most recent, the transgender youth one, and like every John Oliver episode is full of great information and solutions to problems, and we just won't. Like,
No, we're just not going to do that.
I am so bitter, and it makes it so much worse. I love him, but I hate watching his show. It's just every week. It's like, hey, there's a bunch of shit, but like all those kids spoke brilliantly, and it's a good thing that they just don't matter, because otherwise, like, shit might have to change. But like, I'm just watching that going, that city council and that school board and that whoever they're talking to, like,
they didn't register at all. Yeah.
So I'm it just breaks my fucking soul.
Yeah.
And I really hope I hope the kids figure out how to make a bigger noise or something with it, because like, just going and saying all of that is just not going to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what will. Anyway, John Oliver breaks my goddamn heart every time I watch it. Also kept up with So Help Me Todd, which is cute.
Yep.
Watched a horror movie called The Lodge, which I would think of as a lesser Hereditary. It does have there's a lot of fuck around for a crazy amount. Like, the find out is insane, but it's kind of like The Invitation. It's all kind of back end loaded. So the whole movie is just relentlessly uncomfortable and then breaks. It was if you liked Hereditary, I'd absolutely recommend watching it. We talked about it for a couple of days. Kind of sticks with you. Then we started watching The Watcher on Netflix, which is another Ryan Murphy show, which is based on a true story, and I am really resisting the urge to look up how much of this is true, because holy fuck. But it does have Richard Kind and Margot Martindale and Richard Kind play a husband and wife couple across the street that Bobby Cannavale and Naomi Watts piss off immediately. And watching Margot Martindale like walk up to Bobby Cannavale and like, we could have been friends, but you fucked it up. It's just awesome. And Richard Kind standing back there with a pocket knife, cutting some arugula. Like, yeah, man, you should have been cooler. It's so great. It's the kind of horror setup where they have thoroughly set up everyone to be suspicious. Like, there's if woman across the street or whatever just absolutely wasn't trying to be a comedy and just actually went towards the kind of horror that it's purporting to be.
Yeah.
This is that, like, cranked to the Ryan Murphy 11. I'm really enjoying it so far. I don't know where the fuck it is going, but it is real weird. Also watched the first episode of a French show on Netflix called Ask My Agent, that I thought was going to be kind of like Extras, but it's not. It's the flip of that. It is all of these actors' agents, like 6 or 7 agents in a huge agency that reps like some big actors in France. And so like in the first episode, they have an actress that's got a role in a Tarantino movie and then doesn't, and then does again. Like, back and forth shit. And so the agents are all backstabbing each other. The whole industry is like soulless, insane people. It's really tightly done. I mean, the whole thing's in French with subtitles, but as far as a sitcom, if you like industry backstabbing, quick, like bananas kind of shit, it's a bit like watching Ari Gold, but without the broness of Entourage.
Instead, it's French existential ennui.
It's just a lot of insane, like, yeah, there's just a lot of little back and forth, like,
Sacre bleu, Vince does not get to make the movie.
You know, they're agonizingly in the first episode. The actress doesn't get, like, she has the Tarantino role and then in a Tarantino movie, which is fictional, and then doesn't because she's too old. But she's like 39.
All Tarantino movies are fictional, Les. Like, that's how fiction works.
You know what I'm saying. So she doesn't have the role again, and no one wants to tell her. Like like her agent is terrified and is basically just ducking her calls because he doesn't want to tell her that she doesn't have this role. But meanwhile, she's out telling everybody she does. And when she finally comes into the office, because like he just won't answer his fucking cell, and she's just walking around like, "Do I have an agent here?" She ends up standing next to like the newest hired assistant, who has overheard all day that this woman no longer has this role, and just says offhand, I think it's really unfair that they didn't cast you in that Tarantino movie because because they think you're too old, and just walks off. And like, like when it takes the whole rest of the day to figure out who the fuck told her, and like she drops her agent immediately. Like it causes this whole shitstorm, and and then there's a whole that intern or assistant trying to do a bunch of shit to get back in the good graces so they didn't just lose their job on their first day. But the whole show's nuts. Like you can kind of see how tightly written all the bananas shit is. It's called Ask My Agent. Definitely worth watching.
Okay. All right.
And that's my TV diaries.
All right. It's a good time to remind
wait,
you.
I didn't talk about Ghoulies because there are no Ghoulies in it.
Ghoulies was thrown to you,
almost got away with it.
Yep.
Almost. Yes. While Nick was watching Grizzly, or Nick watched Grizzly without me, I watched The Gate, which is fucking awesome. It's an 80s movie that I love.
We sometimes watch movies without one another. Every once in a while.
That doesn't sound true.
It's weird. These kids find a construction pops a hole in their backyard to hell. And demons come out of it.
Good.
It's fucking hilarious. It's awesome. It's when I first saw it in the theaters. It's a fucking classic.
The Gate, you said?
But then, yes, called The Gate. But then Nick and I also watched Ghoulies, which is absolutely like a gross out slasher movie-ish Gremlins ripoff that absolutely fucks around and barely has the little monsters in it at all. And instead, it just has a bunch of people who behave insanely. Like, this kid just suddenly starts knowing magic shit. Like, literally, he just comes of age and starts just knowing magic shit and turns into a whole different person, and everybody basically rolls with it. It's fucking crazy.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck,
none of it makes any sense.
We watched Evil Toons this week.
That's what I was just misremembering too. It's like, oh god, I'm blending this with another bad movie.
You're blending this with Evil Toons.
No. So Evil Toons. Evil Toons has Dick Miller in it, which would lead you to think that maybe it's a Joe Dante movie. It is not. It is a fucking bananas movie about people who read a Necronomicon-style spell book that they get from David Carradine?
Oh, Randy, you gotta... This movie starts with David Carradine killing himself via hanging.
Yes, it's a scene that has not aged well.
No, that's not okay.
It has not aged well.
Oh, it was a rocky start.
That is not great.
Yeah. They read these spells and these drawings from this book come alive. I say drawings. It's not Evil Toons. It's one toon. It comes alive. And then it's mostly just false teeth like fangs in this girl's mouth for the rest of it. It is a fucking terrible movie. It's so bad. Enough so that Ghoulies actually was a better movie by comparison, but Ghoulies is frustrating because they summon all these little bitty monsters, one of which is cute on the on the poster coming out of a toilet, which makes you want to watch the movie.
That is what
he comes out of a toilet once, but they never. It's not like a kill scene or anything. I mean, they
did it because it was in the poster. Like they felt like the poster came first. Like, well, now we have to do it.
Seriously, it feels like a pitch meeting of like, well, that's the thing that's in the poster. He did the thing that's in the poster. He did. Yeah. So yeah, Ghoulies, definitely skippable.
Yes, Ghoulies.
I had nostalgia for it, and it's still skippable. And that's my TV Diners.
Good.
Am I blue? Am I blue? Ain't these tears in my eyes telling you? Am I blue? You'd be too if each plan that you had done fell through. There was a time I was your only one, but now I'm the sad and lonely one.
Beautiful. And you'll keep your part of the bargain? A deal's a deal. He can stop now. Not on your life.
Just a reminder, you can support us by going over to patreon.com/tvdudes, throw us the buck an episode. And while you're going around throwing bucks around, you can also go to henshin.com and kick in for that Kickstarter. In exchange for the Patreon, we get to keep other streaming services, pay for our hosting costs, and you get bonus content each week. This week, it's home theater, and Les and Nick are going to talk up the Child's Play series. There's more. There's so much more that's going to happen. We also have our $20 showrunner level, so if there are shows you want to throw in the rotation, you can buy in the level. Give us a couple of ideas. We've got 2 more before the end of the year, but there's room for more. Again, does not have to be anime. I feel like I cannot stress that enough.
It is definitely based on a dare system, though.
It kind of is, yes. It is definitely there. There isn't a. We should change the level. We should call it the "fuck you" level, because it is the you guys are gonna have to watch this.
No, I feel like it is the showrunner level is like what we're gonna give you your chance to ruin the show. Just like bring a new showrunner on and ruin things. You get to be your own Zaslav.
Oh God! Oh, be your own Zaslav. All right, let's get to our new business. Let's start with talking about Big Shot, which I don't know if y'all had time to watch or not.
I watched the first episode of it, and I plan to watch the rest. I did not get to binge through it. I did not expect them to drop it all. It kind of concerns me.
I didn't either, and same. I'm like, they don't usually do this, and I don't know why they would do it. But as it worked out, it worked out great for me because I really liked Big Shot season 1, and I happened to have time, and so I burned through all of this. By the way, one of the creators of this is Brad Garrett. Is that?
Yeah.
And David E. Kelly. That is crazy.
Yeah, that's Raymond's brother. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, who didn't watch the first season, Big Shot is about a Bobby Knight-esque college football coach or college basketball coach, played by John Stamos, who throws a chair, throws his tantrums, basically gets kicked out of sport, and winds up teaching at a girls' private school, teaching basketball to this winning team. That and part of that is that his estranged daughter comes to live with him, and so he's like learning to be a good dad again, as well as learning to be a good coach and treat these girls like people. And it shouldn't work. It should be maudlin.
Yeah,
it
you
should
describing
be
it sounds awful.
This should be so bad, but it's really good. It's like, I think all the girls are really interesting. The John Stamos' arc, like, they managed to make him like legitimately kind of an asshole a lot of the time, and you still root for him because you still see at his heart he basically is a good guy. Like, I thought that was this season they introduced some new love interests for the girls. Without spoiling too much, there's a thing that happens that basically winds up a boys' school basically gets put into the girls' school, so it is now an integrated high school. It's girls and guys, and that's a big upheaval that they do.
I love that as it's great as a season engine, for all this stuff, but also unco-eding a school would lose them so many students.
Yes,
that they would. It would fuck their money up.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah, no.
I remember my freshman year in college, they had to, because just of housing situations and some construction not being done, they had to co-ed blend one of the dorms that wasn't supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of students, but a handful of students fucking like their parents flipped out. Like, no,
Mhm,
I
yeah.
did not just send my kid to school. And and these were 18-year-olds. Like, this was college. So yeah, I was watching this and like, nah.
Oh, and the show definitely makes a point of like, this is going to be chaos. This will be bad.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
Yeah.
the girls all but like do the Texas Avery wolf whistle of
Yes.
like,
Auga boys. Yeah. Yeah. The three lead adults in this, John Stamos and Jessalyn Gilsig and Yvette Nicole Brown are all great. Like, they're all super good. But the girls, like, they're the people who are playing high school girls who are probably all in their 20s, they're also all really good. They introduced the new sort of the bad girl this season who's like a volleyball star who gets kicked off her tour for being kind of like the coach. And before long, they've got her integrated with the team and they're all besties. And again, none of this should work. It should be so sappy. But I legitimately cried at like one of these episodes. I thought they did a really good job of like building all these characters up, and I cared about all their arcs. I followed them all the way through the season. It does this sort of rah-rah sports stuff you wanted to do. It's just a really good take on this first. If I had to choose between the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, which I also like, and Big Shot, I would say Big Shot's a better show.
I'm not sure you're not right. Yeah, I think I might agree with that, and I would never have thought I'd say that. Because we all knew we were looking forward to get, Mighty Ducks. Like, oh, cool, it'll be Mighty Ducks. That's great. I didn't know what the shit Big Shot was. I mean, I don't love John Stamos across the board.
No.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm looking forward to watching more of this show if I hadn't just been swamped with, murderous toy dolls.
Yes, I understand.
Kickstartering.
But yeah, I highly recommend this, and I think it's sweet and it's funny and it's something you can watch with kids, like, teenagers, and everybody will enjoy it. And again, there's no reason it should work. I don't know if it's the writing or the acting or both, but somehow this show is better than it has any right to be. Let's talk the Winchesters. Speaking of things I did not expect to like.
I was really surprised when you texted that you kind of liked Winchesters, honestly.
I've watched 5 seasons of Supernatural, which is, I think, 10% of it. And I liked it okay. But it had already become formulaic and tired for me. And so I was like, oh, it's a spinoff about their parents. I don't give a shit about this. It's a fun first episode. It's a fun pilot, right?
So I know, Nick, I don't think you watched a lot of Supernatural, did you? Any?
I've watched a lot of I have a friend that's very into Supernatural and kind of like reverse me on some of them, like, hey, watch this episode of like, here's the Groundhog City episode. Here's the episode where they go to a fan fiction like convention with themselves.
The
Scooby-Doo episode is something I think is like legitimately fantastic television.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, no, I haven't watched a full season of it. I don't really know the storylines. I just know Sam and Dean are why I like that show.
Yeah.
Hey, Sammy.
But what did you guys think of this?
I enjoyed this. I didn't realize how much I wanted Supernatural back until I saw the font with the credits and realized that, like, oh, we're just gonna go back and remix, like, after umpteen million seasons, the bits of lore that did work and just rebuild Supernatural, but with the parents, and then the Quantum Leap style tie to the other show that they're doing that I don't quite understand how. I'm interested in that.
Clearly, Jensen Ackles like, yeah, I'll do it. That's the only reason he's in there.
Honestly, they've jumped Dean around in time and made such a mess of like various realities and shit in the original run of Supernatural that this is hilarious to me. Like, I don't know what they're doing, and I am absolutely fine with like, if at the end of like 15 seasons of Winchesters they start Supernatural again, I will lose my shit. If this is like play in the original Super Mario Brothers, where like eventually the episodes are named with like a crown, like what episode number is it? Crown emoji. Like,
I don't know. We didn't program the number to go that high.
Right?
Oh man, I do love that. That sounds amazing.
Like, I'm enjoying the shit out of this. I really like when the kid in the first episode, when the kid swings up in the van.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name, the long-haired kid. I love all of that.
Carlos Cervantes is his name.
That is a great sandwich, but I'm sorry, read the other side. Like, all of that worked for me. Like, all of the casual It reminded me of what I liked about the dipshit other hunters that they would run into sometimes, where you'd realize how disjointed their information was.
Yes.
Like, there's always one person in the room that's like, I don't think those things are real. And there's like two other people like, no, I killed one.
Yeah. I was liking this based on, I thought that the lead, Drake Roger, played a good John Winchester. I like Meg Donnelly quite a bit, playing Mary Campbell. And I was like, oh, this is cute. I kind of like it. And then they introduced their crew, which has basically pot-smoking pansexual weirdo and then a couple of hot girls who know stuff. And I'm like, this is really fun. Like, I love this whole crew more than even Sam and Dean and their extended crew. Like, I really liked this crew, and I think the 1971 setting of it is really helping it out.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, the music and the Dean makes, is it Dean? Yeah, no, yeah, Dean.
It's Dean.
Yeah, it's Dean. Jensen Ackles is Dean
at the end. Who's like, and I'll keep picking the music. I was like, okay, yeah, that's great. So yeah, I don't think I'll keep watching this because I've had my fill of Supernatural.
Oh, I'll keep you up on it.
I'm glad it's on. It was really fun, and I may check in on it now and then. Hell, it almost made me want to go back and watch more Supernatural.
I thought this was hot garbage.
There it is. I was waiting for it.
This was fucking trash. I didn't finish the episode, so I guess I can't be too critical of it, but I thought...
Oh, it totally turned itself around for you in the last 5 minutes. I'm kidding. It wouldn't have.
Oh my god, this show reminded me like, oh yeah, this is why I had to re-download the CW app onto my phone again, and why I don't watch fucking CW shows because of this garbage. The characters are bland. I couldn't remember anyone's names. Like, they don't have the chemistry of Sam and Dean, which are the only reason I realized that. I'm like, oh, I'm not invested in the universe of Supernatural at all. I like those two characters, and that's it. But again, I'm not a fan of Supernatural. Like,
yeah. I mean, this is more Supernatural. That's what this is. This is
if my friend had showed me this episode, I'd be like, oh, I'm never watching this show at all, rather than any of the other episodes they actually showed me.
Well, then we've got quite the spectrum here. We've got the fan, the not a fan, and the it's fine. So that's nice. Let's jump over and talk about the other CW show we watch, which is 2 years old, very Canadian, and I have such a mixed opinion on it. It's called The Professionals, and it stars Tom Welling and Brendan Fraser, and it is about, well, I'm not sure what it's about because it starts and billionaire futurist Peter Swan, played by Brendan Fraser, is there with his fiance, medical visionary Dr. Grace Davila, and they're launching some kind of satellite, and it explodes, and so they hire this former counterintelligence officer played by Tom Welling to investigate it, and somehow they wind up doing a Jack Ryan style run through the city of French Guiana. What a weird fucking show this was. What a weird fucking pilot this was.
Yeah, and then kind of abandon that plot line of like, who blew up the rocket?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But here's our special mercenary team. They're going to help you. I was like, what? I like all the characters. I do. I like all the characters, especially Tom Welling and Brendan Fraser, who are just really doing hard work on this. But this was such a mess, and it's like, it's got little bits of Burn Notice. Like there was that bit where they're escaping the hotel. And I'm like, oh, this reminds me of what I liked about Burn Notice. And then
at its
rest
best,
of it
it's
doesn't.
the worst episode of a good USA show.
Yes,
that's what I hate, because the rest of it feels like a corporate commercial, like an industrial weekend thing to me. Like, something about the camera work and the quality of it, like it's like recognizing a celeb in an overseas ad. Like, I keep going, fuck, that's Brendan Fraser.
What did I call Winchesters? Hot garbage? This is cold garbage.
Yes. I wanted to like this so
it's not even
bad.
Providing a necessary heat.
Yeah, oh god damn it. And it has Brendan Fraser, and it's got Tom Welling, who I also like.
These are the two most CW shows I've seen in a while. And that is not a compliment,
Ma-
CW.
I think
this-
they rang the CW out of another show
Yeah, this
and
isn't-
made this from it.
This isn't even a CW show. This is a Canadian, like, so this is the history of this one. This is an interesting one. This was made in 2020. And it is during the 3-month-long filming in Johannesburg. Numerous cast and crew became victims of crime, which included random shootings and carjackings. Brendan Fraser even had his cell phone stolen in one violent incident. And that's more interesting than what was on
That's
the screen.
more exciting than the whole show.
This is also a spin-off from a 2012 movie called Soldiers of Fortune, starring Christian Slater, Sean Bean, and Ving Rhames. I don't know how.
What are you fucking talking about?
It's on IMDb. I don't understand, but that apparently is what it is.
No, that's just computer generated.
Those actors were never in a movie together. You are a liar.
I've not seen that, but I know Sean Bain dies.
So, do you guys remember how you made me watch all those Nicolas Cage movies?
Wasn't that your idea?
No, it was definitely not my idea. I just got talked
No,
into
that
it.
was mine. We just tricked him into thinking it was his idea for a while.
This feels like the next in line of those movies. This would have fit right in with those Nicolas Cage
No, if
movies.
you told me this was spun off of Jiu-Jitsu or some shit.
Spin-off of Primal.
Right. Oh, God, I'd watch a spin-off of Primal.
This is Arsenal or something. Like this is...
Right.
Yes,
This is a spin-off of Arsenal.
Yes, Arsenal, that's the one. Man. Yeah, just the thing is, and we talked about the difference between mediocre and bad. This is mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's like it's not bad enough to be entertaining. It's just like I was watching and I texted you guys and I'm like, this is aggressively Canadian. Like it's just
I am glad that it gave Brendan Fraser a check. I'm sorry
Yeah.
he got robbed. That sucks.
That's where I'm at too. Glad you got a check. Glad you're okay. Glad that you and Tom Welling probably had some fun together, but good.
Seem
Lord,
to be
this is
having a
bad.
good year. Hopefully you never have to do that shit again.
Hopefully no one ever. Hopefully this does not show up in your reel anywhere. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. This is like you say. This is like those Schwarzenegger gas commercials in Japan. It's like what are you doing? I understand you need the paycheck, but come on, man.
I'm gonna tell my friends. It just happened. You walked in my door, and now I don't wanna be alone no more. Oops, I've done it. Told you.
All right. Let's have dessert. We've earned it. We've definitely earned it. Let's start by talking about She-Hulk.
Oh man, you want to start with She-Hulk? God damn. Wow.
Let's start with She-Hulk.
Guys, I feel like we in true Oscar-winning movies performance, we need to talk about Kevin.
I watch everything with subtitles, so the Kevin joke got revealed really quick. But this is the fourth wall breakingest thing that anybody's ever fucking tried on a Disney show, I think. And it was fantastic. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, we'll get to the one part where I kind of agree with some online complaints. But in general, damn, her getting frustrated with the ending, her just calling the bluff on, or I mean, just like calling stop on it.
Well, it's funny because it was building, and I'm like, it was funny because I was watching it, and I'm like, the guy getting superpowers. I'm like, this is a weird direction to go. Like, this is not.
Oh, I was like, this is straight up bad.
And then she starts calling it out, and I'm like, this is.
And her just losing control of it. Like her getting utterly sidelined by male characters bashing it out.
And when Hulk shows up, I'm like, okay, what are they doing here? Like I knew something was going on. But then her fourth wall breaking it out. First of all, the fact that they showed the Disney Plus screen and she's like, assembled, that'll work.
Oh, well, she was just saying like, you guys are gonna flip away, aren't you? And then boop, and it was like we'd backed out like that. Fuck She-Hulk, and backed out of the show. And then she made use of it.
No, so good.
Loved it. Yeah, and then going into assembled so she could get behind the scenes. Yes.
Of course, there's the great behind the scenes and even like it really meta jokes of like treating Kevin like a weird god. Of like, no one refutes Kevin.
When she says I could talk to Kevin, and the whole writer's room just cracks up.
Yes, yeah.
And then they have her sign the NDA. Like, wait, if you were gonna call the guards on me, why'd you give me sign? Everyone signs the NDA.
Also, I thought it was just gonna be Kevin Feige. I thought they were gonna have her talk to Kevin Feige, but no, it's
I kind of thought like Kevin Feige isn't charismatic enough to pull off an actual scene of dialogue.
No, but
No
God,
offense,
it's,
Kevin.
It's
No
little
offense, Kevin.
robot. It's little robot hands.
The baseball hat is cool. It makes you look hip. It makes you look young. We don't think it's weird at
man.
all.
Yeah, the subtitles had it acronymed out,
Yes.
and so I knew where they were going with this.
Yeah.
But
The,
God damn it,
the
it was
acronym was
fucking
the key.
awesome.
Yeah. Man, just
I am the
And-
algorithm. To create a nearly perfect nearly perfect.
Some are more perfect than others. I let the internet debate it.
Tatiana Maslany also just had such fun with it.
Oh.
The bit where she's like, "And what about the X-Men?" And she like looks at the little thumbs up at the screen, like, God,
I'm here for you, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got you here.
Oh, wait, you are sitting?
What's with all the daddy issues? We got Tony Stark, daddy issues.
Jen.
Thor, daddy issues. Loki, same daddy, same issues.
Oh, boy.
Oh God. When she turns and like, yeah, Bruce smashes buildings, I smash bad endings, fourth walls. That's sometimes Matt Murdock. It's like, holy shit, she delivered that line so well.
Yep.
Also, later on when she redoes it, like in the day, Daredevil just drops out of the sky.
I'd
In
like to see Daredevil
broad
again.
daylight.
He's like, what is
Just
what am I
the
doing here?
sky. Like there's no building around him. Like where did he come from?
Yes.
It's great. It's so great. Him also trying to justify his practice to her family.
Oh, that was.
Oh,
I would have loved. I'm glad they didn't overdo it, but I would have loved more of Jen's family. Also, if I have any complaints about this season, not enough Pug and Nikki,
mm-hmm.
Yep, same here.
but really, that's about it. Like,
They could have put Pug and Nikki 10-minute shorts every week
Yes.
as a bonus thing, and I'd have
Yes.
watched every one of them.
same.
I'm sorry. Even we skipped right over Pug and Nikki infiltrating intelligentsia,
Oh,
which ended up
God.
not mattering
And Pug
by
being
the end of it.
wildly uncomfortable.
Pug is like, I don't want to do this. They're
He
so
can't improvise
lame.
shit. Oh, and her just thinking up the meanest shit
Yep.
that she knows
Yep.
would piss Jen off.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to say that. Say it.
Yeah,
Say it.
Nikki being able to infiltrate the Red Pale Bros was just
Oh.
so good.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I've seen, obviously there's a ton of complaints about this episode, about all of She-Hulk, and they're all wrong. I just fucking loved it. It's
They're
fucking
all
fantastic.
wrong.
It's so good.
Y'all know how much I love the Marvel TV shows. Like, I love the Marvel TV shows.
Mhm.
This was absolutely my favorite, far and away. This was
Yeah.
the best of them.
Somebody, I don't know what channel or what, somebody CG'd a different look for the new character reveal at the end of the episode.
Yes.
When
yes.
when
Yeah.
Hulk really does show back up. And I gotta say, I do like him looking more comic-y than Man Bunny. I was not exactly thrilled with Tiny Shrek.
I was just shocked to see him. Like, I don't care if
Yeah,
they threw
I
that
thought-
CGI together in a weekend. I'm like, holy shit, that's a deep cut.
Well, I mean, they have to set up World War Hulks, I guess. So
I kind of
we're,
figured they were
like-
going there, and when he went off planet, I kind of thought it might be, but I wanted him like an angrier Ute,
I get
and not
that.
as
I get that.
not as like confused Shrek as he was.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, also, I like that Hulk King's CGI is like, oh, he's bad on purpose because he looks like fucking trash.
Yes, yes, I love that they just like it's meta on meta on meta. It's just great. They made their shit CG work for him on that. It's so fucking great.
When she fixes her ending and she just comes back, and it never really explains how, one, she gets her job back, maybe, or is she doing her own practice now?
Right, yeah.
And how she like, okay, well, how much of that then, like, did you infiltrate intelligentsia and that's how Todd got arrested?
Like where did this stop being like?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where did we adjust this? Because I'm actually kind of confused now as to like, he didn't get his powers. Is he like gonna die because he injected himself with your blood, which we have established is unbelievably deadly.
Yeah, like he should be dead. Yeah.
He should be very dead.
I would pay money just to have Jen look at Scarlet, look at Wanda, and like, oh wow, you did what to get your kids back? Why didn't you just break the fourth wall? Break the what? What?
The break the
Nothing. Doctor Strange is over there like, shut the fuck up.
Wongers. Yeah, also more Madison. But
Also more
other
Madison.
than that-
Yes, that would have been nice for. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's rumors already that season 2's on the way, and I hope so.
I hope so. My only real problem with this
course
show
there
is
is.
there's not more of it. I thought there was going to be 10 episodes at the start. We found out pretty early on it was going to be 9, but
Yeah.
I'm still sore. I just
Also-
want more of this.
Also, the Kevin joke, I hope it was a joke. when he's like, "You're not gonna be in the movies." I'm like, "No, she better fucking be in the movies." If I don't get
She's so good.
if I don't get She-Hulk in the Avengers, I'm gonna be really pissed.
Oh, dude, everyone's in those movies.
Yeah,
He's such a
that's true.
liar. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a robot. What are you gonna do?
oh, you think Miss Marvel isn't going to be in the new Avengers? No, they're all gonna be in it.
All right, let's talk about Lower Decks, and we can talk about the 2 episodes because I watched both of them, and I am disappointed.
Peanut
in myself.
hamper, baby.
I am disappointed in myself that I did not get to watch Heather Donahue play basically her character from You're the Worst as a robot in Star Trek a week earlier. I was watching it and I'm like, I know that voice. I was like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it's fucking her. Like I'm starting to think that is who Heather Donahue is. Like she is clearly playing her messed up character from You're the Worst. If that robot had somehow stopped until a line of bird cocaine, I would not have been shocked.
Bird cocaine. Why does it have wings? Why does the cocaine have wings?
Everything
on
on this planet has wings, Nick.
It's a sky snake. Why isn't it just a snake on your planet if everything has wings?
By the way, this also was the most Rick and Morty episode of Lower Decks they have done.
Oh man.
Like I swear to God, there's like, if you don't like the Rick and Morty-ness of like Lower Decks, you're gonna fucking hate that episode.
Yeah.
How do you feel about an anthropomorphic bird and a goddamn drone having multiple sex scenes?
Yep. Also, they did a very un-Star Trek thing because the whole thing is set up that like, oh, she learns to be a better person, and then at the end it's revealed, nope, she's never been any better.
Nah.
She didn't learn anything. It's like, Jesus, that's fucking dark for Lower Decks, which is usually not that dark.
They've made. I think Peanut Hamper is gonna be their like one of their villains by like the later seasons.
Well, I mean,
like,
she's trapped with evil AIs now, so
yeah. Oh yeah, she's teaming up with Jeffrey Combs's.
Yes.
Like oh, I think we can do great things together.
yeah, that was super fun. And then this week we get a return to what is the name of their action adventure?
Vindicators or Vindictor,
something like that. Crisis Protocol, whatever it is.
Yeah, Crisis or something. Because no, Vindicta is the name of Mariner's character from the first one.
The Vindictiverse. So I love the idea. I don't know. I haven't seen all the Star Treks, so I don't know if they've done this before. But the idea that the holodeck is usually shown as like it's thing you go to vacations and you go participate in, like you make yourself into Sherlock Holmes or you run a heist. But the notion of like crafting a big budget movie around yourself, like,
and that seems to be like a common thing. Like people write themselves movies.
Of course you would. Of course you would do that.
Yeah.
And you got to play through the whole thing, and
And it's basically
I can't wait to see Rutherford's.
Can you imagine if we had that technology? If we could craft movies for... Oh, God, I just realized what I would wind up in with you guys. I'm never going in the holodeck with y'all. Never, ever.
No.
There's going to be evil puppets.
Oh, man.
You want to see a Hellraiser in a fictional world of like, don't ever go in a holodeck with me unless...
There's gonna be evil puppets and like sentient sharks that walk on land somehow. I'm never going into your
Chucky and so the puppet masters are going to need help fighting the demonic toys, so they're going to go get Andy from the Chucky universe. But of course, that makes Chucky come on over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the twist on that though of making Brad Boimler have his transporter clone die and have that really fuck with him throughout the entire episode, and like Mariner is just giving him shit the entire time about how shitty his fucking movie is, and he's really trying to go through something. And I do like that once Mariner realizes that, like, oh shit, his clone died, and well, I mean, by the end of it, we know that that's not true. But
yes,
to them, it's in a dark, nihilistic way of like, oh, he died with a gas leak or some sort of leak in his coolant leak in his quarters, so he just died in his sleep.
Yeah,
fucking nothing heroic.
Yeah,
nothing like exciting or anything, like just fucking gone. And Brad is looking for answers, and he's looking for them in the sparsely generated outskirts of his own movie.
Oh man, when he finally gets to the Star Trek God thing, and it's just
Oh,
a
yeah.
quote generator.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like Mystery Men, where he was just like getting this thing spit out at him.
But then he breaks into the Kirk Ranch, which is great because it's fucking Sulu. Like, oh hey,
Yeah.
wait, I thought this was the Kirk Ranch. Oh yeah, I'm just watching.
Yeah, no,
it
Kirk
for him
sold
for
it to me a few years ago.
I really liked that, actually. I like the idea that basically Sulu, because Takei is a much better person than Shatner, becoming that guy. I liked that little nod.
Sure. Yeah, but also the story with Tendi realizing she wants to be a captain.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I've never said that out loud before, but
It was interesting to watch these two back to back, because the Peanut Hammer episode is as dark and Rick and Morty and un-Star Trek as this thing gets, and is just so unsincere and making fun of sincerity. And then this one has sincere moments for every one of the main characters, and has a
you
sweetness
realize
to
that they
it.
had to do that type of episode. In order to do that, they had to make it with Peanut Hamper or a character that wasn't part of the main cast.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it wouldn't have worked with anyone else.
Yeah.
Well, and like they tell Peanut Hamper to fuck right. Like, you think you're ever getting back on that ship? No. And like that,
No,
exactly.
no.
If they'd done that story that far,
Yeah.
I mean, I fully got chumped on it at one point of just
Yeah.
like I really thought they were actually gonna, because it's Star Trek. There's a sweet redemptive arc for everybody. And like, oh my god,
Everyone, yeah.
Yep.
these sons of bitches are gonna redeem Peanut Hamper.
They
No.
totally had me. Yeah.
And so if you're gonna do that, you can't then have it be Tendi still on the ship, or
Yeah.
or Rutherford still on the ship.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
You've got to have that be somebody you can kind of banish.
Yeah. Yep.
Although I will say, if we're gonna give Peanut Hamper her own episode, what happened to the fucking Vulcan chick in season 2?
Yeah, there is that.
Did we I'm starting to like question myself. Like, what? They set that up like
You
we
made
were
that
getting
up,
that
Nick.
in the next scene. Like that was a storyline they immediately set up, right?
What Vulcan chick?
What's interesting is that in watching these two episodes, it made me want to go back and rewatch all of Lower Decks. Like, they are clearly building something here, and
It made me definitely want to go back and
watch
watch at least the other
Mhm.
Vindicta story.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's really good, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, continues to be a pleasant surprise of a show.
Yeah.
Well, it
all
doesn't
right.
now. It's over. God damn it.
Was that it? Was that it for the season?
Was that the season finale?
I thought we'd still have a little bit left, but I don't know.
I think we might have a little. It definitely felt like a season finale.
could have been.
But I've been tricked by that before.
Yeah, that was only episode 9, right? Or I don't like this bullshit of 9 episodes. What? Fuck me, it is. It's 9 episodes. Wait, no.
Oopsie.
No, 9 episodes. 9 episodes this week. So there's one more.
Yes,
Oh,
one more.
okay.
Okay,
So-
episode
But it's still,
9
it
will be
is
this
9
week.
episodes, though.
But it is 9
Well,
episodes,
fuck.
unless the 10th one just isn't on Wikipedia yet. So that's possible.
That might be.
Yeah. At any rate, yes, not the finale yet. We got a little more left. All right. I think that wraps it up for us this week. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Les.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, dudes.
Just a reminder, you can go over to patreon.com/tvdudes and henshin.com and help us out with our stuff so we can keep bringing you awesome creative projects. And until next time,
Henshin.com.
Dudes up.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
to find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.